Breaking news. We have bad injury news around Seahawks safety Nick Emmanwori. We already filmed our news and rumors segment with Patriots host Brett Alper earlier today, and you're going to see that on the rest of today's video. But as we were getting ready to pack up here on Radio Row, the news came out that safety Nick Emmanwori ended up injuring his ankle at practice. Now, there isn't any word on if it's the same ankle or a different ankle that he injured earlier on this year. But remember, Emmanwori missed multiple games this season, almost had to go on the injured reserve because of a sprained ankle. Now, he was able to walk off after practice, but it does sound like additional tests are going to be done on Emmanwori to see if he's going to be able to play. This is a big deal. Hunter Henry is a fantastic tight end, and Emmanwori could really help shut down Hunter Henry. But what's more important, the Seahawks are able to stay in their base defense because of what Emmanwori can do on the edges. He's able to guard a tight end just as easily as he's able to step in and stop a rushing attack from one of the running backs. So this is a big story that we have to be aware of. If Emmanwori isn't able to go, that's going to drastically change the game plan for the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60 if they're going to come away with a victory over the Patriots. As more news comes out the rest of the week, I'm going to make sure that I get that to you. That's why you subscribe to Seahawks Today. I'm going to get more information about Emmanwori as it comes out. You're not going to want to miss it. If you subscribe, you will not miss it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. Now we're going to get into the video that we filmed earlier this morning. This is Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner.
And this is Patriots Today. I'm your host, Brett Alper.
And right now, we are on Radio Row, and we're going to dive into the latest news and rumors surrounding both the Seahawks and the Patriots. Very eventful, very fun day today. Obviously, yesterday, we were able to go and get some clips from Drake May, talk to him, talk to a couple other players over at Patriots. How was that, Brett?
It was awesome. I mean, it was media availability. You have opening night on Monday, which is really cool. It's kind of to kick off the Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
But you can't really get up close and personal with how many people that are there. When you have media availability, we were literally just in a single tent. You had all the players at podiums, and a lot of them were just sitting at tables. So I got to talk to a lot of them, got to interact with them, kind of how they're feeling going into this Super Bowl. I mean, this is the first time for a lot of them, which we'll get to in a minute. But you also got the same exact opportunity for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Sam Darnold and MacDonald obviously spoke again from the presser, had a lot of fun, and we'll relay some of those quotes to you. We also have a couple of clips from some other players just on what it meant to be playing in San Francisco and trying to win a Super Bowl in enemy territory, really having a lot of fun. Speaking of what's going on Super Bowl Sunday, we will be live. Now, Brett, you're going to be live at what time?
4:30 Eastern time. So if you're out in New England, if you're out on the East Coast, don't miss out. We'll be live 2 hours beforehand. Don't forget that. So make sure you hit that sub button. And for you, back in Pacific time,
we're going to be at 1:30. That's Mountain Time, 2:30 Central Time, 3:30, and then, hey, guess what? 4:30 Eastern Time as well. We're going to be live 2 hours ahead of time. Come in, hang out with us. We're going to have a tailgate rocking and rolling, getting you all built up for all the news, rumors, and everything that is going to be happening around the big game. We want to make sure that we get that out to you guys, of course. Now, it was a fun, exciting day for Alper and myself yesterday. We were obviously going around asking as many questions as we possibly could from some of the different players and the different coaches. Alper, you were kind of the first one to get to go and talk to the Patriots since they had earlier availability. What did you notice?
Super early. Had to get up at like 4:30 in the morning. But it felt like they all have the same exact mindset going into this game. And the key thing that I heard from Coach Vrabel going to the podium, which was also kind of relayed to every single one of these players, is that these two practices mean everything. These next 48 hours, I guess you're already past your 48 hours because the first practice has happened, but those two mean everything. It was the focal point of his press conference on Wednesday. He reiterated himself like a million times, talking about how this is the game plan. This is where we're going to get set up. This is how we're going to just get that feel, kind of get your last practices in. And also, he also kind of said not to change most things because throughout Super Bowl week, it's completely different from the regular season. You have your practices on Wednesday, Thursday, and then you go into walkthrough on Friday. And Monday, Tuesday, there's not really much going on. Well, Monday, you have media availability. Tuesday, you're going out and doing sponsorship things for everything else. Wednesday, talking to the media. Thursday, Friday, everything. But they all said the same thing. I heard this from Travion Henderson. I heard this from Pop Douglas. We even heard it from Drake May. They all had the quote, keep the mac and cheese the same. Keep everything the way that you've been doing the whole entire year. Because another thing that I like to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, 100%. I agree with the Patriots there on why they want to do things the same way. And you're actually seeing that a lot the same with the Seahawks as well, trying to keep everything the same. On Tuesday, Seahawks had Tuesday off. Wednesday, they practiced. Why? Because that's what they always do. They were back out in pads. But something that's important to note and talk about with the Seattle Seahawks is what is going on behind the scenes, because obviously it does kind of seem like Klint Kubiak is going to be the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. It would make it really easy for this to become a distraction, yet the Seahawks have clearly gone out and shown that they are not going to allow anything that's going on with Kubiak to really distract them the rest of the way. Obviously, a lot of the players have had very good things to say about Kubiak, and in fact, I think we've seen a lot of the players really come out and voice a very high regard for their offensive coordinator. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, I was able to catch up with him, and he did have this to say about his OC.
You played under Klint Kubiak for 1 year, and you popped off and had a career season, led the NFL in receiving yards. What has kind of stood out to you about how he runs the offense and him as an offensive mind?
Yeah, I think this offense, historically has had a lot of success, throughout the years. And I think, Klint does a great job just understanding players and putting them in the right position to succeed and making things look the same, the run game and the pass game. That's something that you need to have, if you want to win games. And, I think he just has an amazing understanding of the game.
Of course, it's clear to me that Kubiak is not going to be a distraction for the Seahawks. When you listen to a guy like Jaxon Smith-Njigba say very kind things about his offensive coordinator, I heard Gray Zabel and A.J. Barner do the same things. I think if you go to any of the Seahawks right now, you're going to know, hey, they clearly love their guy. They clearly are okay with him potentially moving on, and they are clearly okay with, everything that is happening right now in Seattle. And they're making the main thing, and that, of course, is going out and winning on Sunday. Which player do you think is going to be an X factor on Sunday? Is it going to be a Seattle Seahawk? Is it going to be a New England Patriots player? Let us know down below in the comment section whether you're watching on Patriots Today or Seahawks Today. You get your opportunity to make your voice heard, so go and use that right. Go and sound off in the comment section.
All right, I think it's going to be Milton Williams, by the way. The next takeaway that I got is a lot of them have talked about just experience being a gigantic factor going into this game, because for many of these Patriots, this is the first time they have been playing in such a big game. Only 5 players on the team have had experience playing in a Super Bowl. Milton Williams going into back-to-back. Matt Collins, he was a part of that Eagles team in 2017. We're not going to talk about what happened, but whatever. Same with Christian Ellis. Carlton Davis won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. And Austin Hooper was a part of the 28-3 Super Bowl comeback by the New England Patriots. On the wrong side of things. Hopefully he's on the right side going into Sunday. But all of these players, especially a lot of the guys who are rookies. I mean, Drake May's only in his second year. Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, Jalen Hawkins, Craig Woodson, all talked about getting experience just from some of these players. And a lot of these guys who have been to the Super Bowl, like a guy Milton Williams, is kind of helping them guide through everything, kind of helping them get experience. And I got to talk to Milton Williams, and this is exactly what he said about being that leader.
Super Bowl in 5 years is crazy. People always talk about, guys not going their entire career playing 10, 12 years in the league and not going. It's just great, man. It's just great. But like earlier in the year, he asked our team to raise our hand, you was playing football around this time last year. I was the only guy to raise my hand, so it was kind of weird. But I'm just happy to be able to, for all the guys to be able to, say, raise their hand, be like, yeah, all right, ask that question next year. We was there in that same situation, in the Super Bowl. Hopefully we go win it.
I was going to ask you that. How much?
And now when you have guys like Milt Williams and also Carlton Davis that are being kind of leaders and mentors for younger players, it also goes back to the coaching staff. I mean, Mike Vrabel, he's played in 4 different Super Bowls for the New England Patriots, and Josh McDaniels is going into his 10th Super Bowl. So the coaches have a lot more experience. They're also teaching the players, specifically when we heard from Drake May earlier today, how he is taking in a lot of from what these guys are saying. And I think this is going to help Drake May specifically. And I think it's going to also be kind of just bouncing back from these mistakes.
For sure. What's not a mistake is going right now into the comment section or description and clicking on the chatsports.com/mob shirt link. You're going to be able to go and grab a sweet t-shirt. You can see that I've got the black one on right now. You can also grab it in navy. It's $34.99, very affordable. You got the head honcho in the middle, 4 stars around the edges. This thing is sweet. It's going to be the talk of the town wherever you go and support your team.
And not just supporting the Seahawks, that's fine and all, fine and dandy. But if you want to support the Patriots, if you want to support the team that's going to win the Super Bowl, and you want to support the Patriots going on to their next era of football, get your We're Back t-shirts. I got this one right here. You could see Tom Brady passing the torch over to Drake May. Little gradient fade from red to black. You can get it in the black t-shirt, or you can get it in the navy blue like I have on now. It's sleek, it's comfortable, it's comfort colors, but you got to get it right now. We don't know how long we're going to be selling these. Chatsports.com/we'reback. We'll have that in the comments and description of today's video.
I think the last thing that was really a big takeaway for me is watching just how much the coaching matters for the Seattle Seahawks, because right now in Seattle, you've got a guy in Mike MacDonald that has clearly gotten the most out of his players. And while when you look at the Patriots staff, there's a lot of experience there, right? Vrabel has been to a lot of Super Bowls. Now, most of the Super Bowls that Vrabel was at, he was a player in them, but that's still experience, right? McDaniels, he's obviously been to a ton of Super Bowls as a coach, and he's done a fantastic job. I don't think that going to a Super Bowl is going to matter for this Seahawks team or going to a previous Super Bowl, because you have a lot of coaches that already know how to get the most out of their players. I got a chance to talk with Ernest Jones and with Leonard Williams about how much they appreciated the coaching staff and specifically the head guy at in Seattle, in Renton, of course. That is Mike MacDonald. Here's what Ernest Jones had to say.
I think just the way Mike is every day, he doesn't change. He's the same guy, you know, regardless of the situation. And I think for us, that locker room is full of a bunch of like men that love football, and nobody loves football more than Mike. So he's just imprinted just the hard work, but just regardless of whatever the situation is, keep going. And that's left a lasting impact on me too.
I think they do a good job of, just having passion, having want to, and showing desire in their guys. They put the guys in right positions. They coach us all differently. And what I mean by that is, they know my skill set is different than Byron Murphy's skill set. And because of that, they're not going to treat us like the same person. I've been a part of certain organizations where they coach everyone in the D-line room the same. They coach everyone in the wide receiver room the same, when really we're all different. We're all unique in our own ways. And I think that's what this team does a good job of, is, leaning into our uniqueness and allowing us to let it shine.
It's clear that this staff gets the most out of their players. You heard it from the guys talking very nicely about Kubiak on the offensive side, to now on the defensive side, the players obviously talking very nicely and very highly of their guy, Mike MacDonald, and the rest of that defensive staff. There's a reason why the dark side has played as well as it has all season long. That's because you have coaches that get their players in the best position to succeed, and they perform at a high level. Let us know down below in the comment section who you got. If you think the Seahawks are going to come away with the victory, you're going to type C down below. If you think the Patriots are going to get a victory, you're going to type NE down below. Whether you're watching on Patriots Today or Seahawks Today, make sure that your voice is heard loud and proud.
I'll keep spamming those NEs down in the chat. If you're going to show who's the true real fan, go down in the comments section. My last takeaway from kind of talking to all the players and hearing from the coaches is, well, you got to take the Seahawks defense seriously. I know the secondary, which I think Rick Woolen is a good corner. I don't think he's a great corner. I think Emmanwori is going to be a star in this league. But overall, kind of talking about just the defensive line, the edge rushers, your front seven, that's who you're really going to want to worry about. If you want to talk about Byron Murphy, DeMarcus Lawrence, those are the guys right there. And this offensive line, they know specifically that it's going to take all of them to stop this team. And I've specifically heard this from Garrett Bradbury on Wednesday.
Going up against a pretty tough defensive line, kind of talking about the Seahawks.
Yeah, they're a great defense. Played them last year. They're really talented. They're well coached. So it'll be a good opportunity. You don't get to the Super Bowl if you don't have a good defense and a good team. So it'll be a good challenge for us.
The last one for you, I mean, being set up for Drake May, what's that been like? Just talking about how he's been.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's been everything that we need him to be as a team. You guys see the talent on the field, but then just from a human perspective, he's a great friend. He's an awesome guy to be around. I've really enjoyed my time with Drake.
Shout out to Garrett Bradbury. This is going to be the hardest defense that the Patriots face by far. You can say it's going to be the Houston Texans. You can say it's going to be the Denver Broncos. You can say it's going to be the Cleveland Browns. They all have good players, but everybody on that front line is going to be aggressive. They are in the Super Bowl for a reason, but the Patriots, they've beaten all these teams before. I think they can hold their own and win this game on Sunday.
Yeah, the last thing that I want to talk about, because I just want to make sure that I'm focusing on the Seahawks just like head coach Mike MacDonald would do, it's the winning culture that is being created up in Seattle. I think that you see a lot of players on both the offense and the defensive side of the football for the Seahawks that just want to compete. It's very clear to me that both offensively and defensively there is a preaching from the coaching staff that you should win just for winning's sake. If you're going to go out and do something, do it to the best of your ability. And that seems to be clearly shown on both the offensive side and defensive side of the football. We're going to listen to what Gray Zabel has to say on what the offense's mentality is. And then, of course, we're going to listen to Devin Witherspoon and what he has to say about going up against guys like JSN and Cooper Kupp in practice every single practice day.
Yeah, I think there's many discussions about let's be the reason why on this team. There's going to be games throughout the season where we're going to have to put the game on our back and go have a long drive and be able to run the ball and run clock out and stuff. And I think the big thing was our coach, John Benton, coming into our offensive line room and kind of instilling the mentality aspect of football. The mentality of whatever it takes to make sure your quarterback stays clean, or whatever it takes to make sure we get a first down, or whatever it takes for a running back to have 100 yards rushing in a game. So I think mentality is a huge thing that we kind of preached this past year, and I think we've done a good job with it.
You got a guy who can run efficient routes like he do, who don't waste no steps out his break, who can make all the contested catches. Y'all can see all the one hand, all the crazy catches he made. It makes coming to practice fun, you know. It don't feel like work and stuff like that, man. He just makes you better, man. He's gonna challenge you every day, and then he's gonna get after you. And also shout out to Coop too, like, you know what I'm saying, Cooper Kupp. Talking about a guy who you can tell like is the reason why he run the Triple Crown. Like the way he works every day, man. He come to work every day. And you go against guys like that, they just make you better. So.
You can hear it in their voice. This isn't a team that wants to win football games. This is a team that needs to win football games. There's a desire. There is a drive. This is a team that has to win football games. And that is why Seattle continues week in and week out to come up with victories. They don't play down to opponents. They play to the opponent, and they play through them. And that's why they continue to keep winning. It's been a lot of fun being down here for Super Bowl 60.
Very fun.
Still a couple more days left, so we're going to keep getting more and more clips from the coaches, from the players. And guess what, Alper? That's why you subscribe to both channels. That's why you subscribe to Seahawks TV. Why? Because I'm going to get you all the news that you need to know about your favorite team up in Seattle. Why do they need to subscribe to Patriots Today?
Well, because if they want to keep up to date with all the Patriots news and rumors, I don't know if there's another YouTube channel specifically out there that is going to give you kind of the joint preview content where you're getting also a Seahawks perspective in the sense of with the Patriots too. And at media availability, you'll get to hear from the players nonstop. If you guys have been looking, we've been putting up every single short possible, talking from Drake May, talking from all these other players, and you're not getting it anywhere else. And plus, on Sunday, we're going to both be live, which is going to be an awesome thing. So make sure you hit that sub button for Patriots Today, and if you're a Seahawks, go subscribe to Seahawks Today too. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Let's go, Pats.
Let's go, Hawks.